Hi there, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, one of my clients actually challenged me to turn this traveler's size bullet journal into something that's productive. So she loves bullet journals. She dislikes any official planners. But she loves bullet journals. But the problem is, in her bullet journals, she tends to make things very beautiful, but it doesn't move her productivity along, correct? So she challenged me. This one's mine. This is not sponsored. I received this in a mystery box that I purchased, a couple years ago. But it's coming in really handy for this challenge. So let's get into it. Let's see if whatever we do in here, if you can transfer some of these ideas into your bullet journal. Earlier today, we did a video on the high performance planner, right? A big A4, just to have fun with it, right? We created some of the things you're gonna see here. I did in here. My personal planner happens to be the Legend Planner Pro, which is a life work balance planner that I've been using for 3 years. And then we're also going to do another video, I don't know if it's this week or next week, on a $1 notebook. Okay, just having fun, like literally like taking things and like doing like matchy things. Okay, like a mix and match thing. So it's really about, the series is really about having fun with our planners, bringing in some motivation, bringing in a little bit of joy while staying really productive. Okay, so let's get started. So this is I think an 8x4, right? An 8x4 planner. And the first thing we're going to do is connect to our vision. So on this page, and I don't know if you can see the gloss, I covered it with, I think it's called contact paper. It's like this transparency paper. I took, this is my vision boards, okay? This is normally in my Legend Planner Pro. And this is a work in progress. Vision boards are a work in progress. So this, I started in 2024, and they are good for, in my mind, anywhere between 3 to 5 years. Okay, it's things that you want to manifest in that timeline. So this is my personal, places I want to go. So Japan, Spain, Portugal, Greece. I'd love to go to the beach. This to me reminds me of Cancun. Love to go there. People I want to be enjoying my life with. Places I'd love to live, like just like a very feng shui, right? These colors are like just very neutral. I used to live in a place with lots of color, and in my last home it was very feng shui, and now I moved again now to be closer into the city, and now the style that I happen to live in is very old, with like the wood trims and stuff like that. So eventually I think I would like to move back into this style. Okay, and then over here is maintaining a really happy relationship. This is not me and my husband. This is something that we found, like all these pictures have been found on the internet. I just put in free images of people cooking, like a cooking class, free images of Japan, free images of mom and daughter. This is van life. So you can get a gist of it. This over here happens to be my mission. So everything to do with becoming a YouTuber. So today is that day, believe it or not. So again, this was done in 2024, and it's only now that I'm manifesting. Okay, actually my YouTube journey is like 2 years. I joined part-time YouTuber Academy like 2 years ago. Is from Ali Abdal. 2 years. So, but because it's in my vision, it's pushing me, it's reconnecting all the time. Every time I look at it, It's like, oh yeah, I really do want to do this. I really do want to be of service. I really do want to help people in their productivity, like in different areas of their life, correct? Then it is doing my coaching. So I'm a certified high performance coach. This is an image that represents me coaching one-on-one clients. This is a mini group. So I would love to manifest maybe by the end of this year, maybe the beginning of 2026, how to become, how to do a small VIP group. Okay, so that we're kind of like forming a Jedi Council of productivity and accountability. I mean, I think that would be super, super cool, where we're all like supporting each other. I think that would be beautiful. Then over here is maybe creating a live, like maybe a YouTube live, or a webinar possibly. I put the faces here of like people looking happy about that webinar. I'd love to be on a stage, either Dean and Tony's, not either, on all of them. Let's just shoot for the moon and say all of them. So on Dean and Tony's stage, I would love to show how to optimize people's time. Okay, so that they can actually do the courses that Tony and Dean give, right? Because a lot of the time we love the ideas of different people's ideas, but the fact is trying to find the time to get that done. So I'd love to do that for the mastermind community. I'm part of it, but I would love to do that. Then there's Brendan Burchard. For sure, I would love to be on his stage. Same thing, all about productivity, mastery, and all about optimizing people's time. And then there's Ali Abdal. Totally adore him as well. Same thing, either for his productivity lab or for his part-time YouTuber academy. Maybe doing a battle board for YouTubers. Anyways, lots of good things, right? I have a lot of good intentions. But what is that for you? What does that look like for you? What are things that would light you up that you would love to do long term, even if it was crazy? Okay, Women's Federation. And what's lovely is that the reason it's so here, I can just add, right? I can just add something new to my vision board. Okay, so here, this says Go Wild. So last year, Mark from Mark Your Pages had mentioned he had gone, and I thought, oh, that's so cool. And then this year, they created, him and Jess from Corinne, they created a thing on YouTube called Planner Pals. So they each have their own individual channels, but then together they created Planner Pals, which is beautiful. And this year, so they really manifested going to this conference together. And so they are. And then I thought, wow, how cool would that be if I got to go 1 year and present and discuss how people can turn their planners into productivity planners, right? Because it's like whether it's a notebook, a bullet journal, an actual planner, how do we get our planner communities moving forward in life? Yes? And a happy productivity, correct? So I took my favorite things from both and I put it in here. Okay, so that was one of the biggest challenges, is taking something that I have that is big and minimizing it. So this is really something that I would love to really within a 2 to 3 year max do. Okay, like achieve. And then here we have 2025. So I'm taking my 2024. This here I can change. I left it. I did not use contact paper. And then, so here's 2025. Looks like, oh, I'm celebrating it on the beach. 2024 to 2025, I'm moving it forward. And here is the bane of my existence, which is editing. I have tried to film these videos, and every time I posted it on YouTube, it ended up looking like a short and sideways. It was crazy. And no, I did not press turn this into a short, because also it was too long to be a short. So it is a bane of my existence. But because it is, I want to challenge myself to be happy learning editing skills, because I think once I do that, I think the world will open up to me in terms of YouTube and creating things that I want to do. So, and then here's an I am statements, right? So this one has everything, and you can find all of this on YouTube. You can find all of this searching on Google, like free images. So again, when you're opening it and you see it, you're connecting to your future, right? Just subconsciously, your brain's already starting to look for those opportunities, right? So that's what we want to create, something that's colorful, that attaches us to our why. Why are we going to school? Why are we working? Why are we doing that hard project? Why are we trying to think about creating a book or creating a PDF or going on Etsy? Whatever that is for you, this helps you tie in and make it seem more manageable and why you're actually working towards the things that you're working. Okay? Then we move into self-care. Like, Corinne, I know you're going, Corinne, but where's the productivity? This is productivity, right? I'm going to get into the, more into like, what's it called? All these lovely templates. But I want you to be able to tap into your future and to be able to self-care. There's nothing more important for you to have the energy to live your life. So in this wellness one, we have, and again, in my other planners, it's bigger. Okay, so what you do is you do a big grid. This is like a 5x6, and it could be 5x5, but I just did it by 6 so that I can write the bingo up here. So I took my favorite ones from here and I popped them in here. Okay, so no social media day, let someone do something nice for me, right? Because a lot of us do nice things for others, but we don't accept other people doing nice things for us, right? So when they want to do something nice for you, we're like, oh, no, thank you. That's quite all right. But actually, my challenge to you is the next time somebody wants to do something nice for you, either to pay for something, either to treat you to something, either to help you out with the kids, whatever that happens to be, you need to accept it, okay? And all you have to do is say, you know what? That would be lovely. Thank you. Thank you for thinking of me. I actually appreciate it. Yes, let me take you up on that, right? And then so concert or movie, tea time, picnic, bake a new cookie, bath bomb and treat, pedicure. And by all means, you can continue that, right? You can continue another wellness board and change the words around. Or you could do date night bingo. Now, date night could be with yourself, but if you happen to have a partner, it's really cool to have it written down, because what happens is when you do decide to do date night, whether that's once a month, whether that's once a week, what happens to most couples is you're like, oh, what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? And then before you know it, you're staying home. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's also nice to go out. It's also nice not to talk about the kids, not to talk about work, and just talking about like each other, your dreams, your hopes, your just appreciating each other in the moment, whether it's stillness, whether it's holding hands. Like really, it's just about being together and being happy about it, right? So things that you can do. So I took 4 things for us where it costs no money. So drawing by the water, right? So my husband recently started looking into art. So we take sketch pads just from the dollar store, and then we go down to the water and sketch. Then it's photography, right? In terms of nature walk, you take your phone, and as you're doing a walk, you know, you're walking and you're talking, and whenever you see something cool, you take a picture of it. And then at the end, when you come back home and have a coffee, you get to switch phones and see the world from the other person's perspective. Really super cool, right? So, and then there's visiting an art gallery, because that ties into the art, right? So it could be an art gallery, it could be, lighting, it could be AI, it could be any kind of gallery. Visit a new bookstore. So I am a book lover. I love books and I love libraries, right? So bookstores and libraries. Then here, in terms of what does cost something, is double date, right? For a movie or supper. Try a new recipe, try a new restaurant or farmer's market. And then here is visit a new township. You don't have to go, it could be a staycation. You don't have to go far, right? It could just be the next township right next to you. And so if you do that, like even once a month, and you just go visit a different one, and you go to their main street and just visit, right? You go to their farmer's market possibly. So when you're visiting a new township, chances are you're either going to try a new coffee place, or you're going to try a new restaurant, or you're going to go to the farmer's market, buy some stuff, and then you can try a new recipe when you get back home. So there's lots of lovely things, and by all means, you can turn this bingo into something bigger just by talking with each other and seeing, hey, what are your interests these days, right? Because sometimes if you've been together for a very long time, you still think of each other as the young ones that you used to date, whereas a lot of time has passed and some of your interests may have changed. So you can go up and you can see what's going on, what's new in my city, and take a look, and then schedule it, right? And then you can take a look and schedule it put it into your schedule. So let's move on. So here, right? So bullet journals are undated. So here I have like for the quarter. Okay, so when we talk about productivity mastery, we take a look at the next 3 months, and we call that a quarter. And we write 3 goals, 3 quarterly goals. So for me, let's say it would be coaching, it would be starting a YouTube channel, and it would be possibly my website, okay? For somebody who's new to quarterly goals, you might want to do 1 career, 1 personal, and 1 health. Okay, and so what you would do is in Ali Abdal's Productivity Lab, he talks about giving them like a gamification title. So you can do it based on a movie, games, D&D characters, whatever it is that lights you up. So for me, let's say for my coaching one-on-one clients, it would be the Lord of the Rings quest. And the reason for that is I'm assisting my clients go through their hero's journey. Yes? So then you would just put what is your goal? Your 3 things that will help you move that goal forward. Then it's why would you, not why would you, I don't even know why I keep saying why would you. What makes you happy? How are you going to feel when these things are done? Okay, it's all about connecting to your happiness, right? Connecting to your why. I would love this because I want my clients to feel joy. I want them to reconnect, re-engage in life. I want them to see that life is so much bigger than their career. I want them to see that they're, that they can write that book, that they can create a life bigger than they actually have. Or sometimes people's lives are so big and we need to close it up and help them more develop the relationships and connections. So different people need different things, and that's why for me it lights me up, because I get to see that. I get to see that journey. I get to see them putting tiny steps and working towards that future. It's super, super cool. And then it's this little face here is, what is the challenge, right? What is the one challenge that you foresee? So for most coaches, it's marketing. A lot of coaches, anybody who's being of service, selling and marketing is something that is really hard. It's something that, mindset, it just doesn't, kind of work, and to really to create a sell in service is a challenge for most people. Okay, and then here is like, how is my best self going to deal with that challenge? So maybe your best self would be like, oh, I'm going to take a marketing blueprint, and I'm going to make sure that whatever my offer is something that my client really, really needs. Okay, then so you do that for each one. Okay, then it's like skills. So what is it that you're going to need to achieve that? What are the skills you're going to need? What is the equipment you're going to need? And who? So for people who are high achievers, what they do is they trade money for time. So they will pay, right? If they need an editor, they'll pay an editor. If it's a housekeeper, they'll pay a housekeeper. If it's food, they'll just have food delivered. And chances are there may be a couple of things, like maybe you do Uber Eats, maybe you do good food, whatever it is, there might be some things in your life that you've paid for something to save time. Okay, whether you needed that time to rest, whether you needed that time to create something new, that's what they do. And so you need to think who, right? Sometimes we get stuck in the how. And so it's like, who can help you? Is there somebody that can mentor you? Is there somebody that did the thing that you're trying to achieve? Is there somebody else who did it before you and did it well that you can reach out and say, hey, can we have a coffee? Can I bring over pastries, and could you give me like 20 minutes of your time? I have a couple of questions for you, right? Another thing you can do is trade a skill. So for people who don't have much money, what you can do is trade. So you can trade, let's say you're a coach, physiotherapist, a massage therapist, somebody who builds web pages, somebody who's created, maybe you're really great at Instagram, okay? And maybe you want to trade for somebody else's to be able to say, hey, if you could do this for me, I will do a carousel. I will open a Instagram account for you and do a carousel, show you how everything works, okay? What you're doing is you're trading your skill set for something that you need. Okay, for somebody else, it could be like, oh, I need a web page, so I can cook, right? So you offer the person, and let's say the person lives on his own. So you can say, I'm going to cook you dinner this week, Monday to Friday, if you could just take a few hours of your time and create a one-page website for me. Just a simple one page, just a landing page for people. Right? So you get to trade. Maybe it's doing somebody's laundry. Like whatever that is for you, whatever your skill set is. And in order to know that, just listen to people's pain points. All you have to do is really listen. If you're, if that person has been saying, I hate laundry, or, I need my apartment cleaned. Whatever is difficult for that person, they'll see the value in what you need to offer, right? So that's a really nice thing to think about, is trading, just to get you unstuck and get you moving, correct? And that could also be like in health, maybe it's trading something for a private trainer. What does that private trainer need? Yeah. Then we're looking at growth community. You need a pod. You need people in your field that you would like to grow with. Okay, people that understand you, that can support you, that can support your dream. So for me, I am a member of CHPC, which is Certified High Performance Coaches. I am also a pro member in, a mastery member in Growth Day. It's an app that you can have like these motivation streaks, these growth streaks, where every day Brendan Burchard comes on, and actually he's the one that created the high performance planner. He's also an author, also leads all the certified high performance coaches. And he comes on and he does like 20 minutes audio every day, approximately, could be 10 minutes, just to get you motivated in the morning. So that's something that you can listen to on the drive to work. And then there's prompts in there. There are guest speakers. There are courses, lots of goodies. Okay, so these are two communities that support, right? That I can support and they support me. So this is for my coaching. This is for other people who are not necessarily coaches, but who are on a growth path. This is PTYA, Part-Time YouTubers Academy. So I'm a member of that and have been for 2 years. This YouTube thing has been 2 years in the coming, like literally. Productivity Lab is also, so these two are Ali Abdal, okay? And he is a YouTuber who's got, I think, by now, I think he has 4 million subscribers. So if you're going to learn anything about YouTube, you go to the people who've been doing it and doing it well for a long time. Okay. Did I have challenges in this book? Absolutely. And I will share those with you. But just to keep this moving along. So since we're doing this, so is there another way of doing your goals that you want to simplify without all these icons? And there is. So let's say, yes, this is a very ugly page. I really didn't like it, but I thought it was important to leave it in here to show you that things don't have to be perfect. You can experiment with things and still be okay. So for some people, they just need for the month. They just want to be able to, so here's like, so this is my coaching quest, my YouTube quest, my website quest. Okay. This is another way of doing your quest, just much simpler, but still keeping it top of mind. Okay, so here I have what is the one priority. So this is invoicing my client. My stretch goal is watching the blueprint on marketing. My YouTube quest. So my priority is this traveler's edition, right? My stretch goals is to edit and post. So I can tell you right now, I'm not going to be editing this video because I still don't know how to edit, but I will try my best to post it today. Website quest. I need my priorities to do maybe the About Me section. And then my stretch goal is work out my packages, maybe think about a what is coaching video, maybe. It may be too complicated for the time being, but maybe I can think of that for future. So when you're looking at your quests, you're able to take a look at your schedule, right? Your months, and you're able to say, okay, when can I fit some of these things in? And then sometimes it's like taking a look and saying, you know what, this is not going to happen. This is more of a September thing, right? And giving yourself permission to move things around. So what else can we think of? Okay, focus hours. Are you working towards any focus hours towards your dream? So for me, it's like, have I focused this month on YouTube or coaching or the website, right? So I would check them off as I go, okay? And then I can always add more lines and then continue, right? Let's say here. And then if I see that really I had nothing, right? Because right now, one of my things is getting my tech off by 10, and that hasn't happened once. Okay, like not once. Like I think it almost happened where I turned it off, but then I turned it back on 15 minutes later. Okay, this is something, so now my tech off by 10 is really my tech off by 11, okay, or 12 even. Then it's like, what are things that are going to, where do you foresee happy things, right? What happy things are you creating? You can pop that in here. What are your wins for the week? Then what are you reading? Okay, here is bringing attention to like your appointments. So here on the 5th, I have Dr. Steve. So technically I can color in Dr. Steve or circle it. And then in the month of January, it's Karen, Naomi's, Dina's, and Florence's birthday. Another thing you can do, so this is good for people who are starting planning. Okay, they don't want to go into full productivity. They just want to do a little itty bit. They want to start thinking about productivity. So we want to still keep this fun, and then put, okay, what music is this month that you're listening to? Like, what are you enjoying this month? What song? What book? What video? Like, what YouTuber that you like? Or what podcast? What is your favorite food? Are you trying anything new this month? And who are you connecting with? Like, who can you call this month, right? Maybe it's a friend that, think of people that make you feel good. And those are the 10 people that you want to reach out to. And then here I have a do it messy, do it scared, do it anyways, right? This is from KBB. It's like Dean and Tony. Because when it comes to creating YouTube videos, it's normal to be scared, right? And it's normal when you try to be a perfectionist, or not try to be a perfectionist. It's normal not to like your voice. It's normal not to like your video. It's normal not to like the fact that you don't have the skill set yet. So I love this quote because it's saying, do it messy, do it scared, do it anyways. All right. And then what you would do is you would review the month before moving into your next month. You would prep for the following month, and you would say hi to your little vision. So when you say hi to your little vision, it means you're going into your vision board and you're feeling each page, right? You're feeling the wind, you're feeling the heat, you're hearing the laughter, you're hearing yourself on stage. You see that the people are really interested in what you're saying. That kind of feeling, yeah? So let's go one page more. So let's say somebody would have it like this, and then they would leave this page blank so that they can write their notes, right? They can brainstorm, they can doodle, they can do their tasks, whatever that may be. Now let's move to somebody who has ADD, ADHD. So for some people, they need something that's super clean, super things that don't trigger them. So here, instead of having a long task list, what you would do is you would just have one priority, the one thing that must get done, and then maybe 3 other goals for the week. In here, you would put, like, if there's an event, or you can put a quote that would support you. Okay, here is a happy face. What could you foresee this week that will make you happy, right? Or you're creating situations that will bring joy. This is the challenge face. Where do you foresee this week that might be a challenge? So let's say for somebody who's going to school, maybe it's getting to school. Maybe you live far from work, from school. And so sometimes you have a class that's at 8 a.m. and means that you have to get up at 5, shower, get onto a bus, connects to another bus. So those days are challenging. So then it's like, what is your best self, right? How is your best self going to deal with that challenge? So your best self might be, you know what, the night before, I'm going to lay everything out. I'm going to put out my clothes. I'm going to set my water bottle right next to the sink. I'm going to pre-put like my coffee set up, so as soon as I wake up, I can just press a button, my coffee gets made. Whatever that happens to be for you, right? I will take my books and put it in my backpack and leave it at the front door with my keys. That is your best self, how that is going to deal with that one challenge. Okay, so these are emotional icons. I've made them super simple so that they're easy to draw, and it just brings happiness, right? It's not like writing and seeing a lot of dark writing on a page. And then I want you to think of habits that support you. So instead of thinking of standard habits that everybody does, I want you to think, okay, start getting self-aware and go, how does my body feel? What is my week gonna look like? And what are the habits that are gonna support me, right? So if you see that there's certain days that are gonna be stressful, well then maybe you're taking your vitamins. Maybe you're taking vitamin B12 or B100s to lower that stress level. That's maybe you're taking magnesium at night so that it helps your sleep. Hydrating. You're bringing your water bottle with you, right? Maybe it's a hot week. Chances are you're going to want to refill that water bottle. Breakfast. Maybe if you see that you don't have time, maybe you're thinking, oh, maybe I'll have a smoothie. I'll make a smoothie. I'll put it in the freezer, right? Make little smoothie packs. And then in the morning, you can pop that little smoothie thing right inside your a bottle, and then add some water. And so that by the time you get to wherever you're going, you have a smoothie ready for you, right? And then let's say sunlight. Sunlight really helps with you being with depression, okay? Even 5 minutes in the sun, feeling that brings hope, and it feeds your cells, okay? So it's very, very good for you. So if you see that you're gonna have a stressful week, these are some habits that can support you, right? And then next week, maybe you need different habits that will support you, okay? And you can do it where it's like 3 times a week. It doesn't have to be 5, it doesn't have to be 7, right? And again, it's about what gets done, not about what doesn't. So even if you do that once, that is better than nothing. Okay, let's move on. So let's say here it is. This is your goal. These are your tasks. And again, you can just have your priority. And then when that gets done, you can add 1. When that gets done, you can add 2. When you get that, right? It depends how you feel. And then here you can do your doodles. You could do whatever makes you happy, right? It could be absolutely anything. You can even write lyrics to a song. Whatever makes you happy, whatever serves you. So you would start this way. You would review your week. You would prep for next week. And you would say hello to your vision. Okay, really feeling it. So what could the following week? So let's say you're like, okay, Corinne, I did this. I'm very happy about it. I'm comfortable with this, but I've got a little bit more to do. Do you have something else? So we're like, okay, now we move into this. So all you're doing is just you're adding a little like square so that you're like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so that you can write appointments, you can write assignments, you can write anything that you've got to do. And then in here, I put these little squares. In these squares, you could put your steps, you could put your suppers, you could put your lunch. It's just about advanced planning so that you don't have to think, oh, what am I eating on Monday? What am I eating on Tuesday? It doesn't mean you can't change them. It just means that it just makes it easier for shopping. It just makes it so that, oh yeah, let me write in my steps, right? Whatever you want for you that week. Then we've got work goals and we've got personal goals, because maybe these are your things at work or school, but then we can't forget that, hey, you know, we need to look and see if we need to renew that passport, right? Maybe you need to renew your Medicare card. Those are the kind of things, yes? So again, happy. What are some of the wins this week, or what are some of the things you're looking forward to? What is a challenge that you can foresee? And if you don't, that's okay. And how is your best self going to deal with that? And then here is a self-care. What is one self-care thing that you can do that you would love to do this week? Okay, what are the habits that support me? Right, so here we did little circles, here we just did a little grid, and this little tree here is learning. So right here's a little guy and he's reading a book, and here's another person that's upside down, because it's to remind you that there's different ways of learning and it's not necessarily in a book. Okay, so what would you love to learn? Right, what excites you this week? Like, what would you love to learn this week? So then it's like, habits that support me this week. Maybe this week it's a busier week, so we need to make sure that we're eating lunch. Here's some more like vitamin B's. Maybe you need to walk and stretch. So maybe you think, okay, at lunch, I'm gonna walk and stretch for 15 minutes before I come back into the office and eat. Tech off by 10, like I told you, this for me is like still a struggle, but it's still a goal. Release meditation. A release meditation, you can look it up on YouTube. Brendan Burchard does it, and it is the shortest version of it is when you repeat, you do some breaths, and with every breath, you're like release, 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 release. And what this is about is releasing your day, right? Where you're like, okay, I release my day. I'm grateful for today. I am grateful for the solutions I found today. But basically you're releasing the day. Tomorrow's another day. We're just releasing and ending the night with your release meditation. Okay, he does a much better version. Definitely check him out. So again, reviewing, right? So you're taking a look at your schedule, like your thing, and you're like, oh, this worked well. Oh, next week maybe I'd like to change whatever, right? And then you prepare for the following week. Okay, you prepare your week for the night and you say hello to your vision. Ta-da! So let's say you're a super busy person. Okay, so you've got your grid, and then you have a lot. You're telling me, Corinne, I have a big to-do list. So here, and you can call it a to-do list, a to-do list, a task list. And so you write everything down. But in order not to get lost in your task list, you are bringing it back to what is the priority, what must get done. If nothing else got done in here, what is the one thing that really needs to get done? And that's your priority, right? And then maybe three other things that you would like to get done as well. Okay, and you would just take that from that list. Now let's say you have here, let's say you're taking a course. So do you have a test? Do you have a project? Do you have an assignment due? Okay, what are the readings? What are the exercises? What is a practice test? Maybe you want to do a practice test. Where do you need to time block? Is there a video that you can watch on this? Right? So it brings it straight to very clearly what you need for that course. So if you had 4 courses, you can do this for all 4, right? Maybe you've got kids. So let's say you have 4 kids. And so in terms of school projects, here's Scott on Wednesday has a snow globe project, right? So then you would bring it over here and you would go, okay, if it's Wednesday, then I need to make sure that I've got his glitter on Monday or like on the weekend previous, right? So you're like, okay, make sure that I have glitter. Maybe it's make sure I go to the dollar store on Tuesday and buy a box so that he can carry that snow globe to school. Then Sarah, Thursday trip to the biodome. So you might go, oh, I need to make sure I sign the authorization form for Sarah, right? So if it's Thursday, then you're making sure that either you signed it and put it back inside her backpack either Monday or the day before. Tim, so for Tim, nothing's going on, but chances are he's going to ask you for money for his date this weekend. So you can take a look at your week and then you can say, you know what, if he's going to ask me for money, I'm going to ask him to wash my car, on Friday, or do something else. Maybe he needs to drive Sarah to pick up Sarah from the biodome. Whatever that is within your family. Then let's say Keith has Saturday, he has his track and field final. Well, that would make you go, oh yeah, okay, well that would mean that he needs to eat really well this week. That means he's going to be at the track longer. So I need to prepare him some water bottles, some snacks that he could put inside his locker. And I know that 3 days out before, I need to make sure that he's gotten like really great protein, and whatever else that will help him be successful, right, for that Saturday. And that also says, well, Tim can't have the car Saturday because we need it to bring the family to track and field, right? And then it's also a way for you to communicate to everybody, hey, on Saturday, this is what we're doing. And then here's your shopping list, right? So this only has like 15. You can make your shopping list the full thing. But this is like anything out of the ordinary, right? That you need to buy, either for the kids or for yourself or however the week goes. So you can really see that you can make anything grow for you, right? You can go from a very simple week to a more fulfilling week to even more, right? Another thing that you can do, so let's say this is completely different. So let's say you have 4 different things that you're doing. So let's say for me, like my coaching, I had a May 1st move, YouTube, marketing, right? So these are 4 things I needed to work on this week. So in order for me to get this done, I need to make sure that I knew what suppers we were gonna do. Okay, so Monday was factor meals. I was gonna try and make my life as super easy as possible. So factor meal, white bean soup, good food, that's a company, salmon bake, pizza. Okay, I made sure that I had things that were super, super easy. Factor meals are meals that are already prepared for you. All you have to do is pop it into the microwave or in the oven, but they're already cooked. And good food is things that are prepackaged for you that you can just quickly make, okay, in under like 20 minutes. So those were the things that, I did to ensure that this week was going to do. So I put my Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Those are the days I tend to coach. Then what I needed for the move. So Thursday, I need to confirm the movers, buy boxes and tape, bubble roll. Saturday, I need to pack my kitchen. And that made me think, oh, maybe I can call somebody to help me with that. So YouTube is like script, watch PTYA on editing. And then I put it in blue because I'm like, this is a stretch goal. Chances are I'm not even going to get to this, right? And then marketing. So Thursday there in the afternoon, there was a question period. And they were talking about like maybe creating a poll to ask your clients what they like. And then here it's like focus hours. Like I wanted to be able to put 3 hours towards marketing, and that didn't happen. Between this and this, my week was full. But let's say we're talking about marketing. So here, maybe, and this is good for you if you happen to have clients. How do I generate more clients? What does my client want or need, right? Because it's not about what you think, it's about what your client wants. Set up a valuable offer, make the ask. Could you be working towards an email sequence giveaway? Social media blast. Maybe you need to create, either Instagram or Facebook or whatever it is that where your clientele happens to be. Is there someone that I can bounce ideas off of, right? This brings us back to the who and what can I delegate, right? Then it's, okay, who do I need to call? Who do I need to email? Who do I need to see? Who do I need to invoice? A lot of people, we tend to do things for others, but when it comes to invoicing, I don't know if that is something that is relates, but a lot of people have a hard time with invoicing. Then again, where are your wins, or where do you think, where can you bring the joy this week? Do you foresee something being a challenge? So let's say invoicing is a challenge. Well, then your best self would, choose a time and say, okay, Monday, 9 a.m., no matter what, I am sending that invoice. But maybe the unsure part of you, the part that doubts, maybe is like, okay, well, I do want to send it, but maybe I can get my secretary to do it. Maybe it is, I need to get my sister on the phone, right? And so she can support me while I'm typing it up and sending it. Whatever that happens to be for you, this really helps you to think of 2 different versions of how to deal with a challenge. Then you review your week You prep for the next week and you say hello to your vision. Right, so let's say you have this, let's say you have a fuller schedule, you can do something to this effect, okay? There's a 5 a.m. club, I'm not part of that, but this is like 5 to 9 p.m., Monday to Friday. Let's say for you, your busier days are Wednesday to Sunday, then you can, just change the dates. What is the one priority? And then here you can like jot down your notes for that day. Then it's what habits that support you. So let's say you had a very busy week. Then for the kids, you would lay out everybody's clothes out at 8 p.m. at night so that you're not fighting with your kids in the morning on what to wear. Again, happy. Where are you going to bring the joy this week? What is one challenge? How is the best of you or the so-so part of you going to deal with that? And what is one self-care? You review, you prep, you say hello to your vision, right? So different things to be able to see where you, what vibes with you. And then you can leave this open, and here you can do, again, doodles, brainstorming, taking notes. Then we go into team tracking. Okay, I had problems with a very big challenge because it was a very small space. So in terms of team tracking, this is also good if you're in university or college and you have group projects, and same thing for work if you have work projects. So let's say you're in a team, and so usually, right, you can change some of these words around, but generally speaking, you have a project manager, you have somebody who's like your research lead, you have somebody who's your data analyst, who's going to be able to take the data and turn it into a graph, make sense out of what the research is, an editor that's going to go back and make sure, to do the spelling mistakes and all that stuff. Quality control that is making sure that there's a flow to the whole thing, and that everything that is supposed to be in the project is in there. And then there's somebody who usually is a presentation coordinator. Okay, then we go into, so the project management itself. So did you select your team? Have the roles been assigned, and are they clear? Do they know, like, is there a way of monitoring and control, right? Is there a system to monitor and control what's going on? Ongoing communication protocol. Does everybody on the team know who they need to communicate to if they need help or if they're stuck, right? Then is there a holdup? Am I waiting on something? Outsourcing. Do we need to outsource because we're running out of time? Then we do the initial review, final changes, pre-run through, and then we submit, right? If you're in uni, there's like a title page, a main objective. We're discussing scope and methodology with the team. We're scheduling it all out to make sure that everybody has to give you something by a certain date. Who's doing the research? Who's organizing the findings? Are the visual and graphs in? Are we reviewing? Did we put the references and appendices? Final submission? Is there a presentation? And then, woohoo, we're done. What is the reward, right? Because for me, anytime my team presented, we would always reward that, correct? We would always celebrate it. So this is a very tight space to put all that. So I found this very constraining, but you can just do this part. You can do just that part. So it's just a way of, a lot of times when you're at work or at school and university and college, they just go, okay, you just have a group project, go. But there needs to be a system of controlling the information, right? And being able to assign the right things and having the right type of communication with your team. So let's move on. Let's make this super, super simple. So let's say, this is all on a weekly basis. Let's say you have a team. So I put here project tracking, but really I just call it a team check-in, right? So I put project tracking just for our purposes, but normally it was just call it team check-in. So when I'm talking to my team, right, whether it's Kathy, Tim, Raj, Sasha, Kurt, or Steve, then what I'm doing is a little checkbox to see like if I spoke to them this week yet. What is the priority that they are currently working on? What is one of their wins? So in the conversation, I'm like, what is one of your wins from last week? And then so they get to tell me, oh, I did this, I arranged that, or I was stuck on this is how I figured it out. And then ask them, is there anything that is challenging them this week, right? By knowing what that is, it's like, oh, okay, did you think of asking Kurt about that, right? Or it's sort of like, okay, what's your thinking on that? And then just even by them talking to me, sometimes they work it out all by themselves. Oh, so, and for me as a team lead, I get to see where the challenges are, right? So in terms of that, then I could go, what's the next best action, okay? What is the needle movers for our project? Yeah, and I do that with everybody, okay? And then when it comes close to, and what is the priority that they're working on for the following week? So we're moving forward. Then when we get close to the end of the project, I'm able to say, okay, Kathy, Kathy might tell me, oh, I'm at 95%. Okay, I should be at 100% by whatever, November 10th. Then if I'm talking to Tim and Tim's telling me, Corinne, I am stuck at 75, I don't know what to do, then I can tell Kathy, when you're done this, can you help Tim out? Right? And if Tim needs more help, then maybe I'm just, depending on the help that he needs, I might be finding the next best action to make sure that I'm supporting Tim, right? I don't want him to feel stuck. I want him to feel supported. And you go through that with everybody, right? So let's say this is, I'm hoping this is really helpful for you if you have a team. What is the priority they're working on for next week? What is a win that they can be happy about, right? Because that is, it helps their self-confidence, and it also helps you appreciate your team member. Then we go from, okay, so all these were simple, right? Different ideas that are simple. Now we go into productivity mastery. Like this is, leadership at its finest. So this is up here is like Monday to Friday, and what I can move over to next week. These are the 3 projects we're currently working on. You can use this for your quarterly quests, of course, but these are the 3 projects you're currently working on. And usually for any team, I usually tell them not to work on more than 3 concurrent projects. But sometimes they have 2 and one of them is stuck because they're waiting on something, then they can work on the 3rd so that they're never in a stale week, okay? But usually most people have 3 ongoing projects. And then here's your notes. Who do you need to reach out to? Who do you need to follow up with, right? Maybe somebody told you, call me back on this date. So, okay, so you need to follow up with that person. Who are you waiting on? Right? Does somebody else who, need to get back to you? Researching, what do you need to research? Okay, or who is researching what? And then this is for you. These are the 4 Ds of management. What do you need to particularly deliver, right? Not your team, you. What do you need to delegate, right? Out of your projects, maybe you need to delegate something. Delay. So let's say these 2 are on fire. These 2 projects are on fire, but not on fire, meaning they're going very smoothly. But you're noticing we do not have time to do this project. So we need to delay it, okay? So that you're able to take off whoever is on this project and move them over here. or you just know that this project is going to be slower. Okay, so you delay. So you're like, okay, guys, this month we're working on this and this, and we're going to delay this to the following month. Okay, and then sometimes it's deleting. Sometimes you're working on 3 projects and you're noticing that, you know what, this project is really, it's a loss of time, it's a loss of money. You realize as you're doing it that really it's not going to bring you what you thought it was going to bring you. And sometimes it's better to delete than to keep stretching something out because you're afraid to just end it because of the time that was already put on it, correct? So this happens to like deliver, delegate, delay, delete. And then here you can write some notes, anything that you want to. And then it's like any focus hours. So like on this project, right? You can say focus. You can have your, like, you know, because sometimes what I've noticed is projects are not moving along because no one is focusing strictly on this. Some companies bury their employees in meetings. I had literally we had to change that in a company because their people were 75% of their time was in meetings, so they could never get anything done. They talked themselves to death. Everybody was talking in these meetings, but nothing was actually getting done. So we had to change that whole structure. And the only way that we were able to show that is to be able to show the owner that it was like, okay, where's the focus hours? Oh, well, we're having lots of meetings. Okay, but who focused on what? On actually moving the project moving forward instead of just talking about it. And then he was like, oh, right? That realization, sometimes we think, oh, meetings, but it's not necessarily the meetings. Where are the focus hours? Okay, and that will tell you. Same thing with your personal life. If you want to write a book and you're saying, oh, I haven't written anything, I really have no juices. No, you just haven't put the time in, right? Where's the focus hours? How many hours have you been putting towards your writing? And then you're like, oh, right. And same thing for me, for my YouTube channel, right? It's been 2 years. And I'm like, oh, I really want to, but I don't have the time. And then it's like, okay, well, now's the time. Where are my focus hours? Am I scripting? Am I moving forward? Am I creating anything? And then over time, I'm like, okay, by putting a little bit of time every day or every third day or every weekend, then finally I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Now I'm ready, right? So where are your focus hours? And then again, lunch, hydrate, move. These tends to be the 3 main ones, but you can do whatever is good for you. Okay, and then so let's say you have this, then you can also leave blank so that you can write more notes, right? You doodle, brainstorm, make this planner work for you. Okay, so lots of different ideas that I'm hoping for you. It's not the end of the video, but so for you to experiment with, right? You don't need to do any one of these. You can really make it work for you. Like here, let me show you some of my mistakes. So here, I did this, right? And I liked it, right? I liked it, but I'm like, oh, you know what? It would be nice if we made this simpler for somebody who has ADD. Okay, hence why I took out the personal. I took out the words work and personal so that a person with ADD can choose what they want and keep their page simple. Okay, but then when I did this here, it is so ugly. It is so incredibly ugly. So at first I thought, oh, I'll do little circles, and then it just did not work. I put lunch and supper, so I was busy. It was just not a pretty page. But what I did like is, right, so I can cut this out. I couldn't cut it here because as you can see, it's a middle page. So I would have lost, it would have made me lose here. So I just cut it here. And then here are 2 days. So let's say you work from home, but 2 days out of the week, you're going to be out of the house. So this would help you in terms of what do you need to accomplish while you're out, and help you with a schedule. Okay, so this to me didn't really work. So then I did a Kanban board for writers, and I'll do another video for that. This was that thing that I was telling you about. This was my first version, and I'm like, oh, too many colors. Like, it just did not make sense for me. And so the second version I did, which I showed you, I moved things around, and that still doesn't feel good, right? And then this one, which I tend to do a lot actually, I was doing this and I was thinking maybe the gray. So for some people, they'll like the gray because it's more muted, but I thought for the video, I should do it in black, right? In here, this is so awful. At first I thought I had color, right, with the blues, because in some countries, like, so it could be snowy winter, but it can also be the water for other countries that are hot, right? Because some countries, January is their summer. But originally I had purple all over, like here, and then I didn't like the purple. I thought it clashed, so I rewrote it in blue. But I left it in purple here to show you that you can rewrite over it and change it. Okay, and that sometimes it's not going to be pretty, but it's okay for you to experiment. Okay, so that's what I basically want you guys to do, is just experiment and see, what do I need for next week? Is it going to be a busy week? Then maybe I'm doing a little bit more. Is it going to be an extra busy week? Well, that's fine. I can do my business, my school, my kids, my shopping, my to-do list, right? Maybe you're more a person that's like this. It's like, these are the 4 things you're working on this week. And if not, maybe you're working on 3 things and your supper would be in this pocket, and then it's a cleaner page, right? So imagine if this was like this, like, it would be cleaner. Okay, this over here, I put a box because maybe this week you need to be bold, right? Maybe you need to be bold. Maybe you need to be present. Maybe you need to be in gratitude this week. Whatever that is for you. And then here you can either write a quote, or you can write any special event that's going on this week. Okay, so lots of different things for you to experiment with. And then if you're, again, highly high achiever, then this is what you're going with. What else can I show you? I think I wanted to show you, this was a mess, a total hot mess. These are some of the months I was thinking of doing. Didn't care for those either. This is like subs, views, comments, shorts, Instagram, AdSense, affiliate. So I thought of doing like, oh, what's my first video, my second video, my third video, and tracking it over the months. Because sometimes I know that when I talk to other YouTubers, they get discouraged because nobody's watching their video, right? They're not getting the likes, they're not getting the comments, they're not, like, no one's actually watching it. And the fact of the matter is, the algorithm doesn't necessarily recognize you at first, right? So it can only recognize you if people leave comments or likes and things like that. But, so let's say you have nothing in April, but sometimes this video will pick up 6 months later. And so sometimes you need that mindset of saying, okay, I'm okay if I don't have views now, because I might have views later down the road, right? But I find this messy, so I'm not sure I'm going to use it. And then the last thing, here, second to last, trackers. So you just put in January to December, day 1 to day 31, and then you can track whatever it is. It could be a period tracker, it could be your workouts, it could be your water, it could be anything that is of value to you. It could be when you do something nice for yourself. Like literally, maybe you want to also track migraines. Whatever that is for you, do it. It's nice to just have that data, right? Then here is January. This is actually, if you can go into this video, because I don't want this video to be too long. If you can go into the high performance planner and go to this, when I go into high performance, right? You'll be able to see, and I give great detail on how to use that particular tracker, okay? And to think progress over perfection and transformation over information. But I describe how to use this, especially when you're going through something, whether it's migraines, whether it's treatments at the hospital, whether it's something that you've just developed. So really it's like whether you're tracking your sugar, whether really, I go into detail. So go see that video and, you know, fast forward to this part. You're more than welcome to watch the whole video. But go to this part so that you can, if that is something of interest. Okay, but basically what you're doing is you're tracking all these different things for the month. So you're tracking like whether it's your period or whether it's hydration, right? So you can do, are you taking your medication? Are you in pain? What's your energy level? Are you sleeping? Are you eating well? And then in here, it's like, there's a better one in there, okay? And then last but not least is a wellness strategy. This is really good to have in the back of your book if you happen to have anxiety. If you show up places, whether it's at work, at a meeting, inside your class, and have a bit of anxiety, this is something that calms you down. So I did not discuss it in this planner. This is too small here to discuss it in this planner. But when we go into my notebook, right, chances are it'll be at the end of the video, and I will explain to you how this works, okay? And go into each little thing on how you can feel safe, how you can recognize the onset, really make it worth, help you work through that anxiety so that you can feel well. Yes? Okay. So I hope you liked today's video. In the comment section, if you could leave what you liked about this video, what could you use if there was one thing that you would like to transfer into your video? Is it the idea of just experimenting, of really making your planner work for you depending on what you have going? Is it bringing your vision board? Is it bringing your self-care right in front of your thing so that you can, is it date night? Is it the quarterly goals? Oh, and here I forgot to tell you. So this here says I'm in partnership with God. I recently had a client, she told me I could share. She's in her 80s. She is writing her 3rd or 4th book. And we were doing the coaching sessions. And one of my last sessions, we do purpose, right? Connecting to your purpose, recreating a new purpose for the year that's coming up, okay? And during our session, she was like, Corinne, I just realized that I am in partnership with God. She's like, I can't believe it took me to this age to realize that I've been in partnership with him to create the life that I've created for myself, for my kids, for my family. And we literally had like goosies, like, and I'm like, oh my God, can I take that? Can I share that? Because I'm sure there's some people, like whether you believe in God or not, whether you believe in the universe, whether you believe in atoms, whatever that is for you, realizing that you're in partnership with something that is supporting you, that wants the best for you, whether that is yourself, whether that is with God, whether that is with the universe, it is important for you to be able to go, oh, I am in partnership. Imagine just having realized that 3 years ago. Is there something that you would try because you know you're in partnership, right? So I love that. So is it, this? Is it you know, getting together with a growth community, maybe signing up with a growth community? Is it, you know, experimenting and allowing yourself to experiment? Is it, you know, high performance? Is it the team tracking? Literally, what is it for you that you would like to experiment? And what is the size of bullet journal that you have? Is it like a B5? Is it an A4? Was this of value to you? So lots of love. Please remember that you're amazing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.